Okay, everyone, welcome. I'm Elba, and I'm joined with our co-facilitator and fabulous volunteer, Kiati, who is going to take us through some fabulous exercises today. I also want to give a shout out to our other volunteers. I see Adania on the LinkedIn. The whatever this thing's called, Zoom. And also we have amazing longtime ShowMe50 circle members and volunteers. I see Kelly and Elizabeth. So thank you so much. Oh my goodness. And we have another person joining, which I can't wait to tell you about. ShowMe50 is trying to really increase our engagement with our ShowMe50 circles that are part of our network. And I'd like to welcome Yuko. I see you have joined. So these amazing women in Dallas have started a lean-in circle for Japanese female professionals. And so Yuko has joined us, so welcome. And then lastly, I just saw Stephen has joined us. Stephen Leese, he's still connecting, but he is going to be our special speaker for one of our March sessions. So I'll tell you about that at the end, but as soon as he logs in, we will welcome him as well. Okay, hey, oh, he's still connecting. Okay, well, let's go ahead and get started. Today, we're here to talk about Tame Your Adrenaline, 4 instant solutions to calm speaking anxiety. And I know we can all use this, whether it's a big presentation or a little presentation. We're gonna go ahead and get started. I'm gonna kick it off by talking about ShowMe50. For those of you who are new, I do see some new names. Our mission at ShowMe50 is to achieve 50% women in senior leadership positions. And we do this by both creating the motivation to act through events like this and the ability to execute through the toolkits that we provide on our website and through experiential learning opportunities. And we really are trying to get everyone to integrate inclusive behaviors into our daily work. And on the right, you're going to see the 4 solutions, which are based on the principles of inclusion and equity and equal access for all. And hang on a second, my battery is going low here. Okay, technical difficulties. Stephen, I want to welcome you. I saw your name pop up. Appreciate you joining us. At the end, I'll tell them about our exciting collaboration for later in April. So welcome. Again, I want to just remind you, don't forget about these 4 solutions and everything we work on in our companies. What can we do to be advocates, to speak up for gender bias education, transparency, and you see examples there of what we mean by transparency, gender neutral flexibility, which of course now we don't have to focus on that one as much because we've proven we can work from home. And lastly, executive commitment. And then lastly, I just want to share with you that we work closely with Lean In, as exemplified by today's workshop. Okay, so what are we going to talk about today? I'm going to give you, along with Kiati, 4 tactics that we can use, real practical things that we can use when we're presenting, speaking, whether it's a small meeting or a large audience. Take up space, focus on the horizon, breathe, and pause. So not only are we going to learn what those 4 things mean, but we are also going to actually practice with some exercises. And then the second part, which Kiati is also going to take us through, is what's called the Tells of Nervousness, which means, hey, I can tell you are nervous because you do these things. And so we're going to learn what it means inside versus outside, smallness, asymmetry, lockdown hands, facial masks, and self-touch. Oh, what's going on, right? So those are the Tells of Nervousness. So with that, I want to take a moment to just remind you that the chat is available. So please do speak up in the chat. If you want to speak, don't hesitate to raise your hand or just unmute yourself and start speaking. So this is all about engagement. So to open it up, are there any comments? Anybody who wants to comment on why they came today and what they are looking to get out of this? give it just a
I'll
minute.
share something really quick.
Okay.
So it's taken me a long time to admit this, but I think now that I'm older and wiser and more confident with myself, I will say it. But I have actually suffered from social anxiety for a really long time. And it was incongruent with who I am as a person because I am like type A, love to be in front of people, love to present, but I also had social anxiety. And one of the ways that the social anxiety manifested itself with me is that I would break out in hives, really bad red hives all over me. And I did that for years, especially when I first started UPS, my first couple years. And people knew I was nervous. You were talking about that. So I actually, there was a medicine that I was given that helped kind of calm that part. But I think one of the biggest, most wise advancements I made is just admitting that, this is how it is. That we're
Yeah.
not perfect. I think I mentioned in one of your other things, progress over perfection, and that we're all human and these things happen. And when you kind of take down that barrier of having to be so perfect, that in itself makes you less nervous. So I just thought I would share that.
Thank you. Thank you, Janine. And look at Janine now, man, you would never think that she's nervous, right? She looks very poised and is just like, so awesome. All right, well, let's get started by watching a video. So this 4 minute and 55 seconds is a great investment in our time. So I'm gonna cue it up. So everybody pay attention because then we're going to start some exercises that Kyati is gonna walk us through.
When your limbic brain kicks into the fight or flight response, you get a flood of physiological symptoms: racing heart, increased perspiration, quickened breathing, dry mouth, nausea. Your limbic brain does not respond very well to rational thought. What does your limbic brain respond to? Physical stimuli. So, here are 4 physical things you can do to lower the adrenaline in your system. First, take up space. Counteract the tendency to get smaller under pressure and get bigger. If you haven't already, please watch the TED Talk by Amy Cuddy about power poses. Her research shows that simply taking on what would be considered a high-powered position for 2 minutes significantly increases testosterone, that is your power hormone, and decreases your cortisol, which is your stress hormone. And think about what taking up space says to the limbic brain. Either the situation is not a threat, therefore no need to hide, or you are the most powerful thing in the room. And to be clear, taking up space means your spine is tall and strong, your head is level, you can move freely in the bubble of space around you, no T-Rex arms. Own your territory. Next, focus your eyes on the horizon, nose and eyes tracking in the same direction. When adrenaline hits, often the chin begins to dip and the eyes dart to the periphery, searching for a viable escape route. That is prey behavior. I encourage you to shift the focus. Literally, keep your eyes on the horizon and your nose and eyes pointing in the same direction. That is predator behavior. And if you have the choice, it is far more empowering to take on the behavior of the hunter than the hunted. Next, breathe. Now I'm guessing you have heard that common piece of advice before, but most people don't act on it. So let me explain why it is so important. When you are relaxed and just breathing normally, your abdominals are very loose. It's like a big balloon. When you breathe in, it gets bigger, and when you breathe out, it gets smaller. However, when the limbic brain perceives a threat, almost imperceptibly, your abdominals begin to tense up to protect your vital organs from a potential blow to the stomach. And you kick into thoracic breathing. That's ribcage breathing. That's run for your life, panic breathing. Perfect if you were being chased by a bear in the woods. But if you are sitting in your chair waiting for your turn to speak, it is very hard to lift this heavy rib cage. And so therefore, your breathing gets more and more shallow. Well, this sends a horrible message to the limbic brain. So, more adrenaline. You have got to get yourself back into relaxed belly breathing. Just as it helps to take up physical space, it helps to take up temporal space. And the easiest way to take control over time is to pause. From the speaker's point of view, pausing can seem unbearably long, but from the listener's point of view, pausing is quite comfortable. I encourage you to increase your comfort level with pausing by putting a 2-snap pause at the end of your sentences. Do this as a drill for a minute or so, and each time you reach the period on the end of your sentence, snap twice. Many people fear that pausing will lower their credibility, but research shows the exact opposite is true. People who put more pauses in their conversation come across as better prepared, more comfortable, and it's good customer service because it gives your listener a chance to put the information away. So there you have it. Anytime you feel the adrenaline start to bubble up, run this checklist through your mind. Take up space. Keep your eyes focused on the horizon. Breathe and take your time.
Okay, those were great tips. And now we are going to try and some exercises. So Kati, take it away. Oh, are you on mute?
I'm sorry, I was on mute.
We're used to it.
Thank you so much, Alba. It's such a great video. Touches upon how your body reacts to stress and how in turn that dictates your psyche. And let's look at these really good 4 on-the-spot remedies. The very first one is intentionally taking up space. And let's look at the images. Look at the top row. What do you think? Look at the top row and the bottom row. Who do you think has more power to influence? By the raise of hand, if you think it's the top row, either comment or you can put it in the chat section or just sign it. Top row, yep. And in contrast, look at the bottom row. All of these postures are what you say is the receiving end. I think we can unanimously agree on both these observations. And let's look at the physical differences in body projection. Everyone in the top row has a large body projection. They are a little bit more spread out. And everybody in the bottom, they are more confined. They are small in size and they are not taking up space. So when you make yourself small and really confined, you're really not projecting. You are at the receiving end. And if your goal with presentation or speech, if your goal is to influence, counteract the tendency to get physically small under pressure and get bigger instead. Use the space you have. Move around in the room a little bit and take a strong high status posture, which increases your testosterone, your power hormone, and decreases your stress hormone. So with your body posture, guide your mind, decide the role you want to play in that presentation. The influencer or the one that is being influenced. Consciously pick the body posture. The second physical attribute is laser pointer. When you are presenting, your focus is your audience and really not looking around for an escape route. How do you, it's a nervous step. It's like the video suggested, it's a prey behavior. And how do you get past it? And again, the simple way is to keep your eyes on the horizon and your nose and eyes pointing in the same direction. You shouldn't be looking around trying to really escape, unless that's what you're trying to do. But the third one, I think this I find the most beneficial is abdominal breathing. So in a fight or flight response, your abdominal muscle, how your body reacts is your muscles tightens. This is to protect your organ. And your breathing becomes really rapid and shallow. And this helps you really run fast. And in conference rooms, you're not trying to do that. You are not trying to run away. You're trying to be there, calm your nerve, and present. So remind yourself that you need to be there. You're not running away. And the people who are gathered here, they are there to hear from you. So what do you do if you feel your heart is in your throat and feel like really just getting it out of there? Consciously release your abdominal muscle. Take a long, slow, deep breath to your stomach. This will help you calm your nerve down. And this is also a single biggest reason why most meditation practices focuses on deep breathing. Deep breathing helps you navigate through irrational thoughts, clear through the clutter. Personally, for deep breathing also helps me with pausing. And like the speaker said, pauses are not just for the speaker. They are timely pauses, gives your audience, your listener, the time to process the information they just received. And it make it into bite-sized, understandable doses for them. So how long should a pause be? Elba, you want to jump in and demonstrate, maybe tell a story or something?
Sure. Well, the pause, she gives the example of 2 snaps. It's hard to do, but that's why we're going to practice this, right? So for example, let's say I'm going to tell you about my hometown. So, hi everyone, my name is Elba Pareja and I'm from Baton Rouge, Louisiana. While I was in Baton Rouge, I loved eating crawfish and attending crawfish boils. Okay, so you get the example, everybody, right? You say your sentence and then you just snap twice. Of course, you don't have to do it visibly, right? You can do it in your head. So Katya, let's do an exercise. We're going to do a breakout session. I'm going to go ahead and set it up, and we're going to do it for each person. Does it for the most like 30 seconds, and the rooms are going to be 2 to 3 people per room. And what you're going to do is take turns and you tell the story of your hometown for just a little while, right? 30 seconds, and practice snapping twice. And I want everybody to have the opportunity to do so. Does that make sense? Does anybody have any questions about the exercise we're going to do? So for 30 seconds, tell your teammates the story of you and your hometown and snap twice between every sentence. And we'll get back together and talk about it. So here we go. I'm creating the breakout sessions. Okay, has everybody gone to their room? Rose, I see that you're still with us. We can practice it together if you don't go to a room. Oh, there she goes. Okay. So for those of you who couldn't attend in person and maybe you're watching this remotely, again, try to practice with me virtually. Tell me about your hometown and snap twice between every sentence. I'll practice telling you about my job. I work at UPS. My professional title is Director of Stakeholder Engagement, where I engage with employees and all of our stakeholders to discover what matters to them and create solutions that matter to them. I work from 9 to 5. You get the point. it's a great exercise to practice. Hey, that one went well. Okay, everybody should be back. I hope that you found that helpful. Does anybody want to tell one story on kind of what did you think of that exercise? Was it helpful?
Hey
It was
everyone.
great.
Hi, my name is Rita, and I loved that exercise because it helps us breathe as we're doing this 2 snaps.
It does. And you know what I found interesting is when you watch the author do it, she really does look completely in control, right? Just very knowledgeable. So I think, yeah, it's a great exercise, and I hope you go back and share it with your friends and peers and your team members. Okay, let's keep going. What's next, Kati?
The next one is the Tales of Nervousness. And they are, again, related to how small you make physically. So let's look at the video.
Okay, everybody, here we go. Another good video.
One reason many of us fear job interviews, public speaking, or simply speaking up to offer an opinion is that we are afraid we're going to look nervous. Well, here's a little secret. The vast majority of nervous symptoms aren't visible from the outside. The racing heart, feeling overheated, dry mouth, clouded thinking, nausea. These are really uncomfortable from the inside, but we can't see them from the outside. And even those behaviors that we think should be observable aren't quite as obvious from the outside as they feel from the inside. So, for example, right this very second, I am shaking this hand. And if I hadn't drawn your attention to it, you probably wouldn't notice. But even if you did notice, as long as I didn't seem to be preoccupied with it, you wouldn't care. So if you do find yourself in the midst of a nervous reaction, take comfort in the fact that they can't really see your nervous symptoms to the degree you are feeling them. That doesn't mean that someone can't tell when you are nervous. It's just that it's not the symptoms of nervousness that are giving you away. The tells of nervousness, and a tell is the poker term for giving away your hand, the tells of nervousness are almost always someone trying to hide or mask their nervousness. And it is this apparent self-consciousness that gives away that they are nervous about or intimidated by the situation. The tells of nervousness are very common and extremely predictable. So this is where knowledge is power. If you know what people predictably do when they are intimidated or on the spot, you can train yourself to avoid these behaviors. When people are intimidated or uncomfortable, they get smaller. Feet together, hands in close to the body. And the voices get smaller, softer volume, higher pitch. Whereas the more comfortable we are, the more we take up space, with our bodies and with our voices. When people are nervous, they are more likely to be asymmetrical. A shoulder may be raised, chin may be down, they may roll their hands or their feet. Whereas when we're more comfortable, we are literally more level-headed, literally more balanced. When people are self-conscious, they don't know what to do with their hands. The hands are usually in some lockdown position, in the pockets, behind the back, crossed in front in the fig leaf position, or folded formally on the lap. Whereas the more comfortable we are, the more our hands tend to talk when we talk. Just as hand gestures are often locked down, facial gestures are often locked into a mask. On the one end of the spectrum, you might have the smiley mask. It's not even that it's a lie. I might, in fact, be a very friendly person, but it's the locked on nature of this that is the problem. On the other end of the spectrum, poker face. As listeners, we don't just listen to the words of the speaker, we read the face of the speaker. And this is protective because it leaves it up to you to fill in the context. When we are feeling more comfortable, our faces are more relaxed and naturally fluid. When under stress, we display more self-touch. For example, if I were shocked, I might do this. We tend to hold on to our own bodies when we're in a heightened emotional state. Well, when someone is experiencing speaking anxiety, it often looks like fingers touching each other or playing with a ring or with clothes. I'm not suggesting that your hands can't touch. Hand holding that you would want to avoid. When adrenaline hits, the neck muscles almost imperceptibly begin to tighten up. So the eyes begin to move around, but the head does not. This is a classic tell of nervousness. Whereas when we are more comfortable, the whole head turns, eyes and nose tracking in the same direction. When you put a cluster of these signals together, you get what I call tail wagging. That could include a shoulder pull, head down, eyes darting, excessive smiling. It's an attempt, when nervous, to make friends with the audience, to appear non-threatening and submissive. And that may work in the moment to take the pressure off, but in the long term, it won't help you gain their respect. The way that you counteract tail wagging and all of the tells of nervousness that I've just outlined is by focusing on strong posture, strong voice, and strong eye contact. These are the explicit behaviors of the credibility code. And here's the good news. The symptoms of nervousness, which aren't really within your active control, aren't undercutting your image. However, the tells of nervousness, which might be undercutting your image, are within your active control. So take control over them. Develop your skills. Because when you build a strong skill set, an authentic mindset of confidence will follow.
Okay, so that was another great video and an example. And now we are going to practice. So we had someone join late. Welcome. You're totally good. You're going to get an opportunity to practice again. So Kathy, I think here we're going to just jump out into our breakout sessions again. And we're going to do the same exercise, but this time, Kathy, what are the 4 things we're going to have them do?
Take up space, laser pointer, abdominal breathing, and snap to between your sentences.
That's right. Snap to between your sentences. So we're going to do the same exercise. Okay. So you can either choose talking about where you grew up, or maybe you want to, what if you choose, a vacation story in this example, choose the last place you went to vacation and tell your story. And you're going to physically here on Zoom, I want you to, stand around. Actually, Katya and I talked about the fact that on Zoom, we may not know how to take up space. One way is to get close to your camera. As she exemplified in her example, when you stand away, you get little, right? But you want to be up close and laser pointer into the camera. So let's break out into our training breakout rooms. And you're going to practice all 4 things together and try a new example, maybe your vacation. Are you all ready for this practice? All right, here we go. And we'll do this for, each person do it for like 30 seconds. Okay, bye. Hey, Chanel and Michelle, do you guys want to go to your room, or we can do it right here together?
Hey, Elba, I hit the wrong button, so sure.
And then what about Michelle? You're on here too, right? I don't want to leave her by herself if she's in a room. Let me see if I can, oh no, I can't move you there.
Oh, she's having some computer issues. Yeah, we were in the last breakout together and I couldn't hear her.
No problem. So let's do it, you and me. So, okay. Do you want me to go first, or do you want to go first?
You can go first.
Oh, of course. Okay, so I'm gonna try to get big. So I'm lifting up my shoulders. I'm looking at the laser pointer in the camera at you. And I'm gonna try to belly breathe. I've never been good at that, but okay. And then I'm gonna pause. Okay. So here I go. Hello, Chanel. I want to tell you about my last vacation. To be honest, I didn't go on any vacations ever since COVID, so that's a sad story. However, I'm starting to think of 2021 and planning something for the fall. I prefer a beach vacation than the mountains. Okay. How did I do?
Great.
Okay, you tell me.
Okay. Hi, Elba. I'm Chanel Swain. I love to vacation. My favorite vacation spot is Jamaica, and I have really missed it over these last few months. I am looking forward to another opportunity, and I just can't wait to get back there. I love the food, the people, the culture, and hopefully that will take place really soon.
Okay, good job. And it really did work. I mean, you were looking at the camera, right?
Yeah.
I felt like, yeah, you were right here looking at me. So yeah, I think you did a nice job.
Thank you.
I'm definitely going to try to practice this 2-snap thing.
Yeah. I need to work with that, because for me, I kind of feel like if I don't hurry and get through, all of the information, that I will lose my audience. So it results in me sounding like I'm talking really fast.
Me too. I just did that this morning, actually. And my boss actually said, Elvis, slow down. I was like, oh.
Yeah, me too. I've always had a bit of stage anxiety.
Yeah. How have you been?
Great. I've been great. How about you?
I'm good. I have this new job still at UPS, but doing something different. How are
Nice.
things at 3CI?
They are going really well. I'm definitely getting more involved on the MAU side of the house, our parent company, and learning new skills all the time.
That's great. Awesome. Okay, everybody's back, it looks like. I hope that you enjoyed that exercise. I'd love to hear from somebody if they want to share, did they practice all 4 things? If any one of them was harder or easier, please share. Maybe tips. Anybody want to share how their practice went?
I will say, for me, with the laser pointer, in Zoom, it's easy to move the boxes so you can see people closer to the top. So that helps you to appear to be looking directly into the camera. I'm always drawn to the faces. And
that's
I've noticed in teams, you can't do that. I haven't found a way to move the tray of people to the top in presentation mode. So I do appreciate that in Zoom.
That's a great tip. Anybody else want to share something before we kind of review?
Alba, there is a question in from the audience. I think it's from Reed. She
Okay.
says, when I'm looking straight at someone, it's easier to forget the content I'm speaking about out of nervousness. How can we practice looking straight ahead and keeping our nose, eye in the same direction with this limitation? So I have a tip for that. I have a 2-second eye color rule. So you only look at somebody as long as it takes for you to know what their eye color is, and then you look around. You consciously do that. And that's only as long as you should look, and then you get, that's long enough for you to get back to let the person know that you are focused on them, but at the same time, get back to your topic.
That's good. And really, another thing is just literally to just practice. You just have to keep doing it. So maybe one way is when you have less stressful presentations, maybe with a team that you're very close with, do an extra effort to practice in that supportive environment, right? And just, maybe put a sticky note on your computer. I've got, my computer is full of sticky notes to remind me, take up space, or, snap to. So maybe do that and put one, horizon, laser pointer, and just practice every day. And eventually it becomes natural. Okay. Well, I thought we could just review the steps that we went through today. So on a recap, remember the 4 tactics, which we just practiced, including taking up space and watching our posture, breathing and pausing, and then the tells of nervousness. And Deneen, I thought about you when she was talking, because, you said how you had all these, what felt like physical reactions. And, like the lady said, other people may not see them as much as we feel them. And so I think that's what we have to remember.
But Alba, it was so bad. I would break out in red blotches that would go up. And it actually, in a role of negotiating like I do, it took away my position of power, because then everybody knew that I was nervous, and I'm typically negotiating with men, which, again, no offense to the men on the, but you want to make sure that you're confident. So until I was able to figure out how to manage that, it actually was a deficit. So
that's right.
Yeah.
And so in Deneen's example, she specifically literally had physical, visual impacts that people could see. So
I wore turtlenecks a lot.
Elba, I have something to add.
Yeah.
From the video that we watched, there was a great tip to make the distinction between how you are feeling inside and how your body is reacting outside. So how you are feeling inside, you do not per se have control on that, but then how we are reacting, you can have a conscious control on that. And I have been ever since grad school, or even before, and till date, been making so many presentations. I still feel that heart throbbing, and I still feel that nervousness inside. The only thing that has changed over the period of time is how I have started reacting to it consciously. And I also remember, my tells were not as obvious as yours. But I have also realized that, I either tend to either my hands shakes a little bit or something like that. And I also remember telling somebody that this is how I feel when I get nervous, but that let's get past it. I'm presenting this and let's focus on that. And once you say it out loud about something you're nervous about, then, you both know that it's out of the way, and then you can focus on the thing. So just
I used to say that. I used to say, listen, my skin breaks out in hives. I got to the point where I was confident enough to say that. It took me years and years, but once I said that, it allowed me to move on. It's really hard to do that, though.
It is. And again, like Alba said, it comes practice.
Okay, well, I hope that today's power lunch has truly given you some power. I think it really did, right? At a minimum, the images here of taking up space is a way for us to take power, right? Stand tall and just take up more space in the room. So listen, I want to end by just telling you that March is coming up and it's Women's History Month and International Women's Day. And so it's really a time for specially focus on women's empowerment. So ShowMe50 is going to have 2 Lean in Circle meetings, and they're both going to be free. You know, it's hard for us as a small, tiny nonprofit to collect enough money to be able to pay for the Zoom and to pay for different things. But in March, we're good. And we're going to do 2 free events. The first one is going to be March 11th. And that one is going to be a 50 Ways to Fight Bias workshop. Lean In has spruced it up with some new images. And so we're going to have a new facilitator join us, Chris Chapman, who is one of our newer ShowMe50 Lean In Circle volunteers, and he is helping us grow our network. And so he'll be joining me, and we're going to do 50 Ways to Fight Bias. And then on March 24th, we have a special guest speaker who has actually joined us today, Stephen Leese. So Stephen, I know you're out there. He has been kind enough and generous to share his financial expertise to talk about how our personal financial portfolios could benefit from investing in what's called sustainable, responsibly investing, and specifically around gender equality. So companies that are run by women and boards that have strong female representation, statistically, according to looking over 5 years, can perform better. And Stephen, you can correct me if my math is wrong here, but I think it was something like 3 to 4% higher returns over, for example, a 5-year period than a non-gender equality portfolio.
Yeah,
So
no, there's definitely an advantage with gender, and you'll also learn a little bit more on how myself, an Eagle Scout who has 2 daughters, came to changing everything and that he does on a daily basis to make sure that we get more women to have more opportunities and influence, and power in our society. So looking forward to it.
that's awesome. So we look forward to that. So those will be posted on Eventbrite later today. And again, those will be free, and we'll be able to have up to 200 people per session. So sign up early when you get those and tell your peers and friends. So thanks again, Stephen, for being willing to come talk to us about that. Anybody else have any questions before we end for the day? Comments?
I wanted to say thank you for letting me join today. I just opened the Lean In Circle in Dallas, Texas, for Japanese women working in this region. And then actually throughout the world, we start connecting to a lot of people. But this was a wonderful experience. So thank you, everyone.
Thank you, Hoshi. And how are you doing? You know, we heard about Dallas and Texas. Are you okay? Did you get frozen?
We were one of the lucky ones, but I know a lot of our friends and colleagues who are not so lucky. So we had a friend's family stayed over our house. And this week, it's been like 70 degrees now. It's just crazy Texas weather. So
are the windmills operating again?
I think so. That was crazy.
I know. Okay, everybody. Well, listen, I'll give you a couple of minutes back. Thank you so much for your attention. And please do share this. We will post the video as well, which you're welcome to share with others in your network who could benefit. Feel free to use this material in team meetings to teach your team how to combat the Tales of Nervousness and how to apply these 4 tactics. So thank you so much, and we'll see you next time. Have a great rest of the week.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, Kati. Another fantastic job. You're on mute.
I keep doing that. Thank you so much, Alba. This was fun.
Yeah, I thought we had a great time, and it was very effective. So have a great day. And I'm super excited about the potential to work with Two Sigma.
Yes, I got your dates. I'll go back to my steering committee and we'll try to figure something out. I think 11 a.m. is a better time slot if that works for you.
That would be perfectly fine. It's so far in advance that we can lock it out, and yeah, 11 would be fine.
All right, so let me talk to them and I'll circle back on that.
Okay. All right. Well, great job. And so, hey, you're going to catch a break next month because we're going to have that one guy, Stephen Case, and then we're going to do 50 Ways to Fight Bias with Chris Chapman. So, but you're doing an amazing job. So thank you.
Thank you. And
Okay.
I'll still see you next month. I'll attend. I really want, this is a topic I want to educate myself more. So I'm planning to attend already.
Perfect. Would love to see you. Okay. Talk to you
Bye-bye.
soon. Bye.